Hello everyone and welcome. We've got ourselves something special. I'm looking at the Hyperkin Pixel Art Bluetooth controller. And as you can see from this promotional shot, it is for damn near everything. Switch to Windows, Mac, Android, and Chromebooks. You can put this on a Tesla. You can connect it to a Tesla. That's how compatible this thing is. And yes, I am playing on Linux. It works just fine. So there is that. Anyway, see, from here, it has a retro theme. At least this version. There are actually several editions of the Pixel Art Bluetooth controller. As you can see, there are many versions of this controller. There's some Tetrises. Here's the Captain Crunch. It's a very nice looking controller. Miraculous Ladybug. Can't say I'm familiar with that, but then again, they're probably getting so many promotional deals with this thing. It's it's something. Oh, fucking Kool-Aid, Kraft, Oscar Mayer, Heinz. Like, you can have this in so many themes. I went with the Super Nintendo one because it's a lot classier. This bad boy right here. And as you can see, it looks like a Super Nintendo controller. But they did make some changes. Obviously, it's a Bluetooth controller. I'm using it wired here. Got a very good, very clicky D-pad. I mean, it sounds really nice and it feels really nice. You know, it feels like it's gonna catch your inputs very precisely, right? The buttons, while it does kind of crowd them off and makes the R1L1 tinier than the R2L2, it's not as easy to fuck up which one to press because the R1L1 are raised more, whereas the R2L2, they're more flush with the controller. Also, you'll notice some ridges here. Those are purely aesthetic. You don't really feel anything. This is the Bluetooth to Nintendo. Well, Bluetooth. The PC to Nintendo Switch dongle. That's how you switch between the two. There's the Bluetooth pairing button. Guide button, as is absolutely normal. And you have, in a very unfortunate position, and we'll talk about that, the turbo button, right? Also, I feel I need to mention this. These indentations here, these very sharp points, you really don't feel them during gameplay. You hold it like, let me get up. You hold it like a Super Nintendo controller, like this, right? So you're not gonna really feel these ridges, right? Unless you're really crowding out like this for some fucking reason. Unfortunately, because of where the turbo button is, you have to be careful not to rest your palm too hard on the turbo button, right? Because it can accidentally actuate, and all of a sudden you have a turbo fire function. This caught me off guard a little while ago. In fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me go here. This is Oath and Felghana that I've been playing for a while. And as you can see, it's a very nice game. The holific joysticks, they feel very tight. Too many joysticks, even first-party joysticks, I've noticed. Joysticks, control pads, thumbsticks. they don't have a lot of resistance, so it can be a little harder to get those fine movements in. Now, you might not notice it here, it's not really important in this game, but I'm pressing this very slightly, and that's triggering the actuation. You know, a lot of the sticks, like I said, are very loose nowadays, so it feels very hard to get that little bit of movement when you're playing an analog game. Now, what I'm talking about is the way you set up a turbo button, right? Is you'll press the turbo button, and then you'll press the button that you want to have turbo. You press them at the same time, right? Now I have the attack button as a turbo. And what you do is to unturbo the button to make it normal again, is you repeat the procedure. So turbo plus button to make it turbo, and turbo plus button to make it not turbo. The problem I've had a couple of times is that when I'm playing normally, I'll kind of rest my palm here, right? I don't know if y'all can see that. Like, I'll sometimes rest it a little too hard, and I'll accidentally press the turbo button, right? And it's worth mentioning, these are not very soft buttons. These are very stiff, clicky buttons. Again, they sound really nice. Let me mute the game for a minute. I mean, these feel and sound almost first party. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, it's very impressive what Hyperkin has done here. It's just so unfortunate the turbo button positioning. Now, a bit of a saving grace. I don't know if it's just because I'm using one of these. This is the 8BitDo Bluetooth adapter, or if that's just a thing with Bluetooth. But if you're using that, the turbo fire won't work. So if you're having a game where you're accidentally fucking pressing the turbo button the way I've been doing, you know, that can help alleviate the issue. Or you can just be a little more careful when you're using the left analog stick, not to rest your palm too hard while you're doing it, right? Let me just do one of these real quick. But yeah, other than that, absolutely amazing pad. I'm being real with you, man. Like, I did it. Because you can also, as it turns out, you can turbo the D-pad. So it's a so if you're not careful, you're gonna end up with this shit. Although, apparently you can't turbo the start button. So, no slow-mo mode for those of you who remember the NES days and that shit. But, back to the full cam. But yeah, aside from that minor issue, you know, something that you'll have to keep to the back of your mind, this is a very good, very comfortable controller. It sits in your hands very naturally, which is not a surprise. It basically apes the Super Nintendo controller. This is a very well-known and well-documented shape. This is perhaps one of the best shapes for a control pad, such that Sony just lifted it full bore and just put the little grips on the bottom, and that's the PlayStation controller now. But I wholeheartedly recommend it. Once again, it is the Hyperkin limited edition pixel art Bluetooth controller. And as I mentioned before, there are a lot of different versions. I'm so glad they didn't make it like this. This is the USB pixel art controller from back in the day. And yeah, I could see where this would have been an absolute nightmare to play with. For the harsh edges on the side. The fact that they went with the Super Nintendo edges means that this is a controller that feels very natural. It's incredibly comfortable. I would wholeheartedly... Anybody who wants to have a nice controller-ass controller, because aside from the turbo function, there's not a lot of fancy pro crap. Like this is the back, it's just a very normal controller. But if you're looking for something to play retro games or emulation, you know, on whatever device you're using, like I said, you can put this on your Tesla, on the Tesla monitor, right? You can Bluetooth it to the Tesla and play games that way. Yeah, this is a beautiful controller. I cannot sing this thing's praises enough. And yeah, y'all should totally pick one up. This is amazing as far as pads go. Just remember to be very mindful of the turbo button, because that will get you if you're not used to it. You know, that'll take a little while to get used to, but once you do that, you're gonna have a wonderful controller. And since the sticks are Hall effect, you don't have to worry about drift, at least not as much, probably not for a very long time. Anyway, yeah, this is the Hyperkin Pixel Art Bluetooth controller. It's amazing. I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's not the 8-bit Do Pro, but it's damn close to it. And yeah, I think anybody who wants a good controller, you could do a lot worse than this, right? And on that note, God bless you, and play hard, y'all. Hyperkin.